tonight. We're here to celebrate the accomplishments of our student athletes. They had a lot to juggle with personal, work, academic, and athletic schedules, complicated by the fact we had COVID. To give you an idea, for the last 2 years, athletic directors met at least weekly, and we're meeting with national experts as we fought through COVID and the restrictions put upon athletics. So I was glad that we're able to do at least some athletic activities 2 years ago, and this year have a full slate. We are live streaming this event. We do have a hot mic, so those up top there, be careful what you say. What you say will carry on to the broadcast. The broadcast will be made available now, as well as on the YouTube channel for Thaddeus, where you can also see some of our basketball games. So please make use of that. At the end of the program, the athletes can come forward. We do have certificates. And also, this year, every sophomore is getting a portfolio to take with them as they move on to the professional part of their lives. So we want to congratulate the sophomores. At this time, I ask the #1 fan of our athletic program, President Rivera, to come forward and say a few words.
All right, good evening, everyone. Now, I hear you on Saturdays and during the week, and you're much louder than that. Let's try that again. Good evening, everyone. All right, good evening, good evening. So first, I want to share how honored I am to join you this evening for the 2021-22 Athletics Award Program. It gives me great pleasure to be here during this ceremony and to observe throughout the history of Thaddeus College the amazing athletic opportunities we have created for our students. It's a great pleasure to be here today to recognize our athletes, to recognize our students and those who support them. So first and foremost, to our athletes who are here with us this evening, I want to personally commend the commitment you put into your sport this year. Your commitment to practice and to compete added to the rigors of the academic demands of your program here at the college. You deserve recognition and celebration. Let's give them a big round of applause. Your performance as individuals and more importantly as a team have earned regional and national recognition. Our football team started us off by decisively clinching the Seaboard Conference Championship, and several members of the team were recognized as all-conference players. Let's give our football team a big round of applause. Our basketball team advanced to the regional tournament, and just after that, we had the community college of Philadelphia here for a tour. They expressed how impressed they were with our basketball team this year and all of their accomplishments. Let's give them a big round of applause. And then our cross-country team advanced to nationals. Big round of applause for the cross-country team. And our wrestling team advanced to the nationals. So another big round of applause. And our track team is still competing as their season is still underway. And I'm sure, as always, they're going to continue to represent the college in amazing ways. So why don't we edge them on by giving them a big round of applause. So as a sports fan and as the president of the college, I enjoyed watching our teams compete. And I shared great pride in your performance and your accomplishments throughout the year, not only on the field, but off the field. To all of our coaches here this evening, I also want to personally commend and thank you for your commitment to your role with our student athletes. You established competitive schedules, you coordinated practices and skill development. You design strategies to prepare your teams for competition. You also travel to high schools throughout Pennsylvania to meet and recruit students to Thaddeus College. You serve as a mentor to our students. You work with their instructors and members of our academic support team. You keep our students not only on track for success in sports, but on track for success in life. You believe in the college of the mission, and you know that when your student athletes graduate from our college, they're going to have options to secure a good job at a sustaining wage, or to use the foundation they have built at Thaddeus College to continue their higher education at a 4-year college, where they may choose to continue or participate in a sport. Let's give our coaches a big round of applause. So unfortunately, like Dr. Mccombsey, I have to give a quick mention to COVID. Because although it's really been at the forefront of our daily lives, but we're still able to come here today, it's still very much a part of our world. And I expect it's probably going to be for some time. But students and coaches, I recognize your frustration with missed seasons, missed practices, missed games, and missed competitions. But I have to take a moment and commend you all for your commitment to your sport and your commitment to doing whatever it took during these challenging times to not only stick with it, but as I shared earlier, to excel. Tonight, we're here to announce a number of awards in our athletic programs and to celebrate all of our athletes. Whatever position they finished in their events, a huge congratulations to all of the finalists here this evening. You have definitely set a very admiring benchmark for aspiring athletes in this institution. We hope all the athletes will continue to achieve brilliance in their respective sports, in their careers, and I hope their infectious dedication rubs off in other aspects of their lives as well. Before closing, I want to take a moment to recognize Dr. Mccombsey, Stacy Caldwell, and the staff and volunteers who make our athletic programs run. And I want to thank everyone who made tonight's event possible. Let's give them a round of applause. There are many celebrity athletes with quotes that came to mind on this occasion. They talk about teamwork, they talk about dedication, the benefits of training, and the rewards of sacrifice. But I'll leave you this evening with a quote from a football coach from my alma mater. When a team outgrows individual performance and learns team confidence, excellence becomes a reality. From Joe Paterno. Is this the kind of dedication and attitude you're learning through your commitment to athletics at Thaddeus College that will continue to fuel your success in the future? Enjoy the rest of this evening, and congratulations on a job well done. Thank you.
Before we get into the team discussion, I do want to send a special thank you and an appreciation for Stacy Caldwell. You could just stand. I know she hates this. But most athletic departments have 3 or 4 full-time staff members at our level. And Stacy makes up the department with my help, but does a tremendous job, the eligibility and everything else. Phenomenal job, so thank you again, Stacy. Also, Tony Miller, who does all the setup and operational aspects of the whole program, helped coach football. Thank you, Tony Miller. The head coaches obviously do a tremendous job for us. They'll be coming up in a little bit. But if the assistant coaches could all stand up for a moment here. Coach, you got to stand. The assistant coaches, you know, I get on the head coaches for eligibility and all the other things they have to do. And then the assistant coaches hear from the head coach, and they get yelled at about different things they got to get done. So the assistant coaches, I know what you go through. Also, Justin, our athletic trainer, intramural sports with him. He does carry that out into the field as an athletic trainer, does a tremendous job. Another group I want to acknowledge is Tony Miller again and his student worker staff. I see some over here. If you all could stand up, please, all the student workers. In addition to setting up fields, running clocks, operating scoreboards, they had to screen our athletes to comply with the regulations for COVID, and they did a tremendous job helping us out. Thank you very much, and we have a little appreciation certificate up front after the program you can pick up. Thank you for all that you did. The first team that I'm going to have come forward is wrestling and Coach Macedas. Now, they had a great year, but one of the things people that aren't part of the wrestling program might not understand is we had to fly out to nationals, and they show up. We used Expedia to buy the tickets. They show up, get ready to board the plane, and one of the 5 tickets was valid. So Coach brought the team back for an extra practice, and one player flew out there to get ready for nationals. And I'm thinking, this is a total disaster. It can't get any worse. I come out of my office, and who's standing there but the president? He asked me how my day's going. I said, you won't believe how much fun we're having athletics today. But it all worked out. They had a great year. So, Coach.
It was great to get back on the mat after the previous year when we were shut down entirely. And for the first time, I thought we were actually going to have more than one guy per weight class. In the first tournament that we went to, we sent 11 guys. There are only 10 weight classes. So that was a nice change. But our biggest challenge is probably the protocols. We got shut down twice for a total of missing a month of practice. We missed 6 matches, and then at various times, guys would get set aside and miss matches later in the season and so on. We went to a couple of matches with 3 guys, and can't win too many matches when you forfeit 7 weight classes. But anyway, we had 6 that went to the districts, and all of them placed. We had a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and 2 fifths. And so that was a nice way to almost finish the season. And 3 of them qualified for nationals, went out to nationals and wrestled some tough matches. And in the words of our 174-pounder, he met Owen. He went 0-2 each guy. So I quoted him many times. But they did a great job. It was a pleasure coaching them. And what do I do now? Sophomores, we have Mason Mcclure. He had an interesting season. He got quarantined a couple of times and missed some matches, but he's a very knowledgeable wrestler. Wish he could have had it for 2 years. Unfortunately, couldn't wrestle the year before, but he did this year and did a great job. And okay, we have some awards too. Let me see what order I have them here in. Okay. Our most improved athlete for the year. This was a little bit difficult to do since we didn't wrestle the year before. But this guy improved over the course of the season. The beginning of the season, I was a little worried about it because I would beat him on runs. And I'm 66 years old and not exactly fast anymore. I never was fast, but now I'm really not fast. Anyway, but he got in better shape over the course of the season and had some excellent takedowns. But I don't see him out there. Sadiq, are you out there? Sadiq Baboon. There he is. Sadiq Baboon. Our Coaches Award goes to the guy that probably was the hardest worker on the team. No matter what happened to him, he would get back up and keep at it. Always had a positive attitude. He was a delight to coach. I heard from other wrestlers that he was a good workout partner because he didn't get tired and he really pushed his partner in practice. And so our coach's award goes to Luke Billig. Oh, we have another sophomore who is in line for another award, but I'm not handing it to him. But Randy Wilfred wrestled a couple of years ago. He sat out the previous year, the COVID shutdown year. He went out and worked, and this year he did an awesome job at heavyweight. Wrestled some really tough matches, and ended up winning the district. Second place at districts. Had some great matches. He was kind of scary to watch. And a couple of guys kind of limped off the mat after wrestling him, so he did a great job. Am I forgetting any other sophomores? Oh, well, our next sophomore is the winner of our Most Valuable Wrestler Award. Did a great job again. He had to cut some weight, and it was a little bit tough on him, but he kept it down. And not only did he win districts, but he went out to nationals, did a good job out there. Lenny Kelly.
Now we're going to hear from our basketball coach, Coach Stone. And in basketball, like wrestling, you have to recertify athletes. And he had a tough fall with grades, losing a number of athletes, but obviously didn't miss a beat. The team was phenomenal, carrying forward into the spring, and became the team that no one wanted to play when it came to the big dance in the NJCA. They were all fighting in Jersey to avoid playing us. So they did a great job, and it was the first time as a professional in the athletics that the opposing AD called me right after the game and said, that group of young men, they're awesome, your coaching staff is awesome, most courteous, polite, and for me that was worth 1,000 wins. So congratulations, Coach Stone.
Thank you. I stand up here very humbled, blessed, and thankful to be in this position. My job is not lost on me. The effect that all of us coaches have as role models to these young men really means a lot. That's why I got into it. It's not about the wins and losses, it's all about the relationship. We wouldn't be here without a number of people. Of course, President Rivera, Dr. Mcclure, Justin, Tony Miller, his staff, the woman who really runs the show, Stacy. So I'm very thankful for all of you. For as long as I'm here, I'm always going to take a second note to thank Dr. Mcclure and Tony especially for taking a chance on a 27-year-old kid to lead your program. That is not lost on me, and I'm still very, very thankful for it. To my assistant slash big brother, where would we be without you? Where would the program be without you? Coach Maine, you keep this thing together. You keep me off the ledge. You talk me through a lot. I'm very thankful for you. But more than anything, to our players. Thank you for dealing with me. I know I'm not the easiest guy to play for, but the way you guys persevered through all of this stuff and continue to persevere through all of this stuff, you guys really need to be commended for it. I'm so thankful to be your coach. Now to the awards. This first award, I don't have many regrets or what ifs about our season, but the one I do have is I wonder what would have happened if we would have had this guy the entire year. Our coaches award goes to Mccombsey. Then we have a couple of sophomores that are going to be recognized next. Like Coach just said, it's tough to gauge the most improved award when we didn't play that last year. But again, I thought this guy improved so much from the first game to the last game. Andrew Broughton. And in this last award, I think our players think that this was an easy choice, but me and Payne really antagonized and really thought about this one a lot. But, you know, what it came down to is this guy stuck with us throughout, you know, the COVID year, could have went somewhere else, even though we had to convince him to come back. But he did, and he couldn't ask more from him. Damon Stern.
Thank you, Coach. Two seasons ago, when we had COVID, the head of officiating and I had a discussion about Coach Stone, because sometimes he gets a little hard on the refs because they miss a lot of calls. So I called Coach in and I said, listen, we got to see a change because I don't like what I'm seeing and hearing, and you're better than that. And I didn't want to do this before you got up and talked. The head of the officials, and he's doing the big games. He's doing all the local Jersey, Pennsylvania. He's got all the New York officials. He's got hundreds of officials working for him. And he called me. He said, "Your coach had someone talk to him, and had something happen that he has changed, and is just doing a tremendous job." And I'll tell you, you know, young coaches that are coaching at our level, I tell them that soon someone's going to come calling. So I would not be surprised sometime you turn on the TV and Coach Stone is coaching a big program because he's got it in him. We hate to lose him, but I keep telling him that's going to happen to you because you got it. So I really appreciate your growth and development. And it wasn't a risk. We knew what we had when we talked to you. And you're a hell of a coach, hell of a person. So congratulations. Our next sport we're going to talk about is track and field with Coach Taylor. They're currently in season, and Coach likes to tell me, hey, we got another guy qualifying for nationals, got another guy qualifying for nationals. We're We're well over budget for going to nationals right now, and it keeps adding players, which is awesome, because that's a conversation I like to have. To my boss saying, I need a little bit more money to go to nationals because they're doing great in track and field. Coach Dale.
Good evening. Before I begin, let's use the terminology as far as this COVID pandemic as use the terminology of endemic, okay? Let's get this thing over with and get back to a normal. So, we're back to a normal, I will say, on the track and field team. I want to acknowledge first President Rivera for signing those checks, the expense money, and also Chris Metzler, Dr. Metzler, thank you very much. And one that pulls the fort down, Stacy. Tony Miller, we make butt heads like two brothers, but thank you so much for your support on your end. So, the track and field team, conversations with Coach Robinson, and also my assistants, it's Mr. Tim Draper here, okay? But I have to acknowledge, Lloyd's been with me that since 2004, Jason Mccombsey, with this now family, a very good father that works satellite coaching wise with my javelin throwers. And a little bit about Jason. Jason was actually a second team All-American for the track and field team. So it's a tradition here in track and field. But one thing about track and field is this. We are the road warriors of the campus. We don't practice on campus. Maybe we do some drills down on the Stevens Avenue track and field. But most of the time we practice at McCaskey or Lancaster High School. When that is tied up, then we go to Millersville University or Franklin and Marshall, who then we have relationships with. In fact, we do have a home meet, even though we are road warriors and we don't have a track. Our home meet is the Millersville Metrics over at Millersville University. This year is the largest contingent, speaking of nationals, that we're taking to nationals. Our 4x4 team is in the top 10 to be invited, so that's 4 individuals. And then as we move along here, I want to acknowledge Coach Robinson. For years, he has always wanted to have that 400, 800 meter athlete. Well, he finally got it. His 400 and 800 is a 400 meter, 800 meter athlete. And one thing about it is, I'll let you do the history on it. There was a runner from Cuba by the name of Alberto Juan Torino. This is another version of Alberto Juan Torino. He had won the 76 Olympics, got gold in the 400 and 800, which is just totally out of world performance. So we're going to move into the awards, and this individual that I'm talking about is Josh Devoe, who is track and field's most improved. A little bit about Josh. Now, one thing about track and field, we do have that tradition of going to nationals. Well, Josh right now is #1 ranked in the 800 meter and 2nd ranked, and we're talking in the nation, in the 400 meter. Next, I'm going to call up the Track and Field Coaches Award. This award goes to Ashton Sauer. Coaches, you always have that athlete on the team that will do anything to succeed and for the best for the team. This individual has run on our 4x1. He has triple jump, he has long jump. Triple jump is his specialty. And he also has run on our 4x4 team. So anything he asks this young man to do, he does it. And one thing about both these individuals is the excellence in the classroom. One thing that I push our student athletes. Ashton Sauer. hard decision here for most improved field athletes. I had a person in mind because of the performances that were going on, but this person, this is another one that put his time in by himself a lot of times, because I'm not a football coach. Coach Robinson, you're not a football coach. Either are you a football coach, Jason. But Joe Walters, make your way down here. Joe Walters was actually no fighting in the football at the beginning of the season. And until 2 weeks ago, he cleared his first jump and he continued. That was actually down at Westchester University. And he ended up qualifying for nationals. So that's it, our most improved field athlete. Now, I must recognize this is not an award, but since March 26th was our first meet, now this is tradition. Levi Mayer has led the nation in the shot put to date, #1 in the nation. As of April 2nd, he is #1 in the discus. So let's give a hand for Levi Mayer, please. Thank you to all of my track and field athletes, and thank you to Coach Robinson and also Jason Mccombsey. Thank you.
Next program we're going to talk about is the football program. Coach Lindsay will come forward and talk a little bit about our football program. It's exciting this year because, as mentioned, we won the Seaboard Conference. For years, we were winning it, and then we had a law, and so we thought, how are we going to do this? I don't know whether it was a new stadium or all the upgrades to the facility, but he turned around the program, bringing a lot of top athletes in and doing a lot of great things. Great season, great experience in that year playing at F&M, who never would play us because they feared they'd lose to us and then crush them in recruiting. So what do? We went there and won. I have a guarantee from their vice president that we're going to play again this year. Their athletic director doesn't want to do it, but the vice president had told me we're going to do it. So, Coach.
I want to thank the administration for your support for our program. We greatly appreciate it. It's always nice seeing our president on our sideline at every home game. I'd like to thank our coaches that are here tonight, and I'm going to have them stand again because this is one sport that you can't coach it alone. You need a community. You need great people to make it work. Coach Rudolph, Coach Heidi, Coach Hosler, Coach Miller, greatly appreciate everything they do, without a doubt. We have many good players here, and good players make you a good coach. There's no doubt about it. We always want to create a situation where our team feels like it's their team. The players feel like they have each other's back. They pull for one another. At the end of every season, I interview every player one-on-one. And I give them a template, and we talk about academics, strengths and weaknesses, in our play, in the weight room. One of the questions is, what did you like most about this season? And it was almost unanimous that everybody wrote down. We We had each other's back. It was great chemistry. We supported one another. That's every coach's dream, every coach's goal. And I said to my players coming back, I said, that's not a gift. That doesn't just happen every year. You are now the catalyst to make it work for all those players coming in next season. So I appreciate the leadership we've been getting, and we got to continue to make that happen. At this time, I'd like to have all the underclassmen please stand up. We're here to honor the sophomores, but we want all our underclassmen to please stand up. And I'm proud of these underclassmen because a lot of them are better players coming back. Steve Reynolds, right in front of us. Every time we played, and I know he was limited with injuries, but after every game he played, if I had a buddy come to the game, they would look at me and go, who's number 8? Because of the play he gave on the field. Not only does he do that, but he is a leader off the field and a great work ethic. We appreciate that. Khalil Jeter, over here. Khalil Jeter is probably, if Steve Reynolds is our best talented big, Khalil Jeter is probably our most talented skill. He can do a lot of different positions. And what he does is also phenomenal. He supports players on the field so well. Always congratulate him. Mike Massey, right next to him. Michael was a running back. He's done a great job. And we appreciate what Michael brings to us. Always caring about what others are feeling. We appreciate that so much. And he's a running back. All these guys made all conference that Mr. Rivera, Pedro Rivera mentioned earlier. So they're all conference players. Tyjair Bling. Tyjair had more pressures than anybody on the team. Fast coming off the edge. And also did a real good job in his classroom. We appreciate his leadership. Michael Massey, Khalil, I wanted to recognize those guys that made all league that are underclassmen. And I also want to say that Nathan Minnick is another guy that's probably, since Chris Rob's leaving us, he'll probably be pound for pound our strongest guy coming forward. And he's worked so hard. He went from 203 pounds to 227 pounds because of McMillan's gym. And I want to thank the administration for giving us the opportunity to go down to McMillan's gym. So not only do we lift 3 days a week here in the off-season in our gym, but we get down twice a week with sessions that are unbelievable. Well spent. A strong man's gym. Our guys are tired after they're done. And we had 17 players go down there and did one phenomenal job. If you ever want to see somebody work, get down there on a Tuesday or Thursday in the month of January. Okay, gentlemen, ladies, I also like to say that we emphasize academics. So we have an AGP program where we meet with our players once a week. They visit their position coach, and they end up talking about improvements in academics. They talk about routine, structure, what they got coming up next week. We do that, and it's worked. 33% of our football players made Dean's List this year, first semester. We had 52% of our football players get a 3.0 or higher. We also had 70% get a 2.5 or higher. That's a credit not only to the players, but to our coaches that give us the time. And I greatly appreciate that. Now, again, you're only as good as your last play, and you're only as good as your last semester. So we hope we see the same results coming at the end of this semester. I'd like to give a special thanks, and I know he's not here tonight. Joe Gans coached 18 years here for Thaddeus College. One of the most likable young men that you'll ever meet. The coaches say that, and the players love playing for him. So I just want to publicly thank Joe Gans. And also Tony Miller, who will also leave us in the summer. And Coach Miller, I want to say this, he is a taskmaster. He reminds me of my father back when I was growing up. But you know what? When somebody visits me from past players, within 5 minutes they're saying, I want to go over to see Coach Miller. So he builds relationships, no doubt about it. All right, this time I'd like to give the awards. I see Stacy over here has a hook, she's ready to pull me off. But we have a thing that we talk about in our ATP called PRIDE. It's an acronym for perseverance, respect, integrity, diversity, and excellence. So I'm going to announce our award winners in that regard. Our first one is Josh Clark. Come on down, Josh. Josh epitomizes perseverance. Many of you don't know that I actually coached Josh at another school. So I coached him before he came here. And then when he came here, he had some downside. He left the school. But he stayed in touch with me. He sent progress reports. He sent semester grades. He called me at least once or twice a month. Coach, I want to come back. And he came back with a vengeance. He was voted captain. He was the MVP of the league. He led us in kick return, punt return, and receptions and yardage. He did everything. We appreciate that. The perseverance that I talk about, I want everybody to understand. It's just not one adversity that we persevere. We got to sustain it. We got to make sure we do that all the time, because we're constantly going to be challenged, and we must work on persevering. The next man in the acronym of PRIDE is respect, and this is Chris Rock. Come on down, Chris. Chris Rock started the season, he wasn't a starter. And that was probably our mistake. When he got the opportunity, he took advantage of it. No doubt about it. I remember when I recruited him and I went to Governor Mifflin, and the coach pulled me aside because there was 4 big guys I was talking to, and there was Chris Robb with 200 pounds. He said, don't let the size fool you. He said, he's the toughest one there. And he was right. 203 pounds, knocking guys that weighed 280 and 300 off the ball. It was phenomenal. He made our linebackers good, no doubt about it. And not only that, over a 3.0 grade point average. It's phenomenal. Integrity. This goes to Malik Crenshaw. Malik's walking down with his family. He's got his young one with him. And I want to talk about how I gave him the label of integrity. Back in June, of last year, Malik had applied late. He got into the electrical program, but he was on a wait list. And I called him and I said, it doesn't look like there's too many people that bounce out of electrical. The chances are you probably won't get in this season. I said, will you come next year? He goes, yes. Well, a week later, he was bumped into the program. Somebody stepped down. So he called me. His coach wanted to come in. When he came in, he was one of the most appreciative young men that I've ever seen. And he thanked me so many times. He said, no, it's not me, it's you. He said, Coach, I want you to know this. This has changed my world. And he said, I'm not going to blow. So he ended up following through, making a statement. He had integrity. He became the starting quarterback. He was voted captain. And he made teams list. That's next word goes to Wally Boyd. Wally. Talk about being excited about getting here and getting in. He matched the league. The reason we give him the word diversity is that Waleed is the guy that reaches out to everybody. He sees good in everyone. When I want somebody to go to one of our students who is struggling academically or with routine going to class, I go to Waleed. He gets them there. He's that type of person. He's also diverse in that he can play different positions on the field. He knew free safety and weak safety. And you talk about a coach's award, the coaches respect him because of his respect. You talk about demeanor, being consistent, which makes your performance consistent. That's quality. He's always on that same plane, and I respect that. Thank you, quality. This is a Spirit Award, but we also can call it diversity, and this goes to Alex Romanowski. Roma, he gets a Spirit Award because he used to get everybody excited. He broke the record 49-yard field goal. He also had a 47-yard. Now he's diverse in that he was a fullback that would block, he punted, he kicked field goals, he kicked extra points. So he did a lot of different things for us. The only thing he didn't do, and he asked a couple times at the end of games, was run the ball. And I said, no. I said, you're a target. I said, we need that leg. I said, he said, but I block. I said, that's different. You're going to hit somebody. But when you have the ball in your hand, people are coming to hit you. Did a phenomenal job for us. Was our leading scorer as a kicker. And again, diverse, and he's our guy that gives us spirit. No doubt about it. Players like that. All right, the last word in the acronym PRIDE is excellence. And this is going to C.J. Siegel. Talk about being a perfectionist, C.J. is. If you ever take a look at our stat book, you'll see that he leads in just about every category. There's no doubt about it. He had a very good D line that protects linebackers. But the work ethic is beyond compare. And if you see him working out, you see Steve Reynolds working out. He's another young man, like Steve, like Wally, that if we wanted recruits to be spoken to, they would be the ones to go and represent us. A hard worker, a man that always wants to excel. He's also well received by his teammates and coaches. There's no doubt about it. If you want something done, you go to CJ Signal. He'll make it happen. Thank you, CJ. In closing, I'd like to say to the players that are here, the underclassmen, and the awards winners, please see me at the end, and I will give you the gifts I talked about during spring ball, because we have more for everybody. It's the greatest team sport in the world. What other game, what other contest, what other sport can you put 50 to 60 players contributing on the field at one time? And the key, and it's obvious because of having each other's back. This player over here that gave us 15 snaps felt just as important as this player over here that gave us 50. That's no doubt about it. That's what football's all about. So we want to honor all of you with a quick handout when you come down at the end. I greatly appreciate it. There's one more person that called me with this COVID. He doesn't have COVID, but the flu's going around. Okay? But he was our offensive most improved player. And he was sad that he couldn't make it. He was sick all day. And that's Tim Martin. And if you saw Tim Martin at the end of the season perform, Coach talked about, Dr. Messer talked about that F&M game. He don't make a couple of those plays, and we don't beat him, okay? But that's the type of player he was. So nobody knew his name in the beginning of the year, but they knew his name at the end. Thank you very much for everything. Great
Football players, I'll tell you, sends down, he always wants a little more. I gave Coach, he begs for 15 helmets. Got you 15 helmets, Coach. It's in my office the next day. I went 20 shoulder pads. Just gave you 15 helmets. That was yesterday. I forgot about that. Give me new shoulder pads. So, players, be warned. It's never going to be enough. Our last program we're going to talk about is the cross-country program. Coach Robinson, you want to come forward? Always exciting, cross country, they do a phenomenal job. I think that over the years, they tried to take the EPAC championship away from us because they thought we had a home field advantage. So they threw us up to Luzerne, we went up there, and everyone said, we're not going to travel that far, we'll come to Stevens again. And we keep whooping up on them, so Coach has done a great job.
All right, first I want to say thanks to Coach Taylor and us at Mccombsey helping out as a volunteer, saying, hey, they have an open cross-country position here, and I'd like to thank you. I took it, and I'd like to thank Coach Dr. Mccombsey and Stacy. Thank you for taking a chance with me, because I don't think you knew what you're going to get once I came here, but I live by the moniker of my dad, you get out what you put in, and I've gotten a lot so far. All right, first report, because he has to get out of here soon, goes to our most improved athlete, which our first meet that he ran in. He ran at 35, then COVID kicked in, and then he ran at nationals. And then he ran 35 for the first meet, and then at nationals, he ran 30:05. And that is Eston South. Coach's award goes to an individual that I wish he had ran track, but he decided he wanted to play frisbee golf, but different story. He gave him out in practice and had some speed, really good speed is the reason why I wanted to run track, but that athlete is Isaiah Lansing. All right. One of our MVPs from Schuylkill Valley County, who was joined at the hip, two number ones basically. And this one, who I didn't know his name was Jacob, because he was referred to by Jacob by our other MVP. And I was like, who's Jacob? And then I come to find out it's who ran very well for us, and unfortunate at nationals, he had a hip hole, which had a lot to do with our performance or how we lagged there. But regionals came in 6th. And then came in second at EPAC. And that is Jacob, no, Brandon Carter. Our next MVP is Mr. Crazy himself, who gave Brandon the nickname, or his adopted name, which it's been a joy to watch him in cross country, also in track. I thought I liked to kick, but this guy likes to kick more than me. We would arrive at locations, and he would roughly look at what's roughly 100 meters. He would pretty much walk anybody down. And one of the things I said to Brandon, be the devil's advocate, I said, if you can hear this guy, he's too close. Because he's running a 50 point in the quarter, and he came here, before he came here, he ran a 53. Now he's running a 50.4, and he's going to break 50 for too long. And that is Josh Devoe.
I want Coach to stay here for a minute, because after each of these nights I go home and I think, how did I do that again? that I didn't give some love to Coach. Because what you have to understand is since he's been here, one time he didn't win the championship because of COVID, and one time because we were getting the team together late. But he's won, or his runners have won, the team and individual men's championship every year but those 2 years that he's been a coach. His women have won a championship and district championships. So surprising to the other ADs and other coaches that as we're coming to the finish line at the regional championship, one of the ADs from Jersey calls me and goes, "Matt, I can't believe what's going on. You're going to win this. You're going to win this." And they're going crazy. And I hear this yelling in the background because here comes our female athlete winning a championship. He has done a phenomenal job, but so humble. Doesn't bring it up, doesn't talk about it, he wins championship after championship. Has done a phenomenal job, and every year I forget to say what an honor it is for us to have him as a coach. But more importantly, as an individual, he loves every one of his athletes and will do anything for them. I was with my family over the summer, and some of his former athletes are there, and all they want to talk about is how great of an individual he is. So I want to thank you and give you the honor of Coach of the Year. Well deserved. Thank you very much. Coach Robinson, actually, from our staff here, Coach Hitze and Coach Macedas, we're going to give out the sophomore special awards, the high honors in our athletic program. The first one is the Stauffer Award, and this one's given out to the student athlete that's contributed the most this year to our athletic program. Coaches, if you want to say a few words.
Okay, talking about a little bit more about Brandon. He is a little crazy. He just ran in a race recently. He ran 17 hours. In 17 hours, he ran 75 miles. So it's showing you a little bit craziness he has. It's unfortunate that he didn't run for us for track. But on top of that, as well as being very athletic, he's very academic. He's been on the dean's list since he's been here. And pretty sure he has a 4.0 grade point average. So, Brandon.
And now for the Bevilacqua Award, this goes to the top student athlete of the sophomore class. Coaches.
Well, I already said a few words about it, but I really appreciate having this guy on our team this year. And as I said, he wrestled for us a couple of years ago and took a year off working really hard. Pretty smart guy. And now I'll turn it over to Coach Hitze.
This young man came to us back in 2019, played on a really good football team. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he can perform. And there's no doubt about it. He said to me, "Coach, I don't think I'll be coming back from COVID year. I'm going to take it off. I want to make sure I get some hands-on stuff going on." And he came back and hit his feet. Ended up starting as a freshman, then started again this year as a sophomore, and was all-conference offensive tackle. And that person is R.J. Wilfred.
So that concludes the program. Make sure athletes come down. If you didn't get your pad polio as a sophomore, please make sure you pick that up. We also have certificates for all the athletes. As you head home, safe travels, and we do have some light refreshments out here to enjoy. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. Best of luck for the remainder of the year.